Good morning, Leadfoot Society. We've got a very special video coming at you today. We're in this 2018 Shelby GT350, and it's even more special because this is my personal vehicle. So I've had this car for a little over a year now. Bought it with 26,000 miles on it, and we are all the way up to 42,000 miles on the Shelby. So there are a few things extra special today that I want to show you guys. In particular, we're going to talk about why this vehicle right here may be the last true character vehicle made in a very long time. And before you ask, yes, I have owned other vehicles aside from the GT350. I actually started out with the 2018 GT Performance Pack. Actually, the red interior in that car, God, I miss that. I also had a 2021 Mustang Mach-1 with the handling pad because you can't have it any other way, right? And to be honest with you, I enjoyed my experience in both of those cars. But in reality, neither one of them offer the experience that this car does. And the reason being is there's so much character in this car, and it's unexplained unless you really get a chance to drive one of these things. Now, the Mach-1 and the GT are no slouch by any means, right? I've been fortunate enough to have the opportunity to drive a multitude of other cars, specifically performance vehicles. And what I'll say is it feels truly like we may be losing out on just the character of the vehicle itself. You know, these cars now are so good, so finely tuned that we lose some of the craziness that we used to have. I think the 350, in my opinion, is probably one of the last ones that really gives you that drama, man. There's truly a mystique about this car unlike any other, man. And I really don't know how to put it into words aside from just getting in the car and showing you guys. It is a truly beautiful Sunday morning. Let me just tell you, after a long week of just consistent BS, there's probably nothing better than hopping in the car and just going for a drive, man. So we're here today. This is my 2018 Shelby GT350. I currently have 42,000 miles on my Gen 2 Voodoo engine. There are so many arguments, comments, people everywhere talking about how unreliable and great this car is to look at, great to listen to, but nobody wants to own it. And I get it. I do. At the end of the day, I think the GT350 offers something that most cars cannot offer in today's age. The GT350, a pinnacle that Ford may never make again. With its healthy 526 horsepower, precise handling, and a design that emphasizes the driver's connection to the car, it may be hard to see why. The flat plane Voodoo engine and playful chassis contribute to a unique character, making it feel like a clean break from the rest of the Mustang family. Its high-revving engine makes it feel like a European sports car, which is a compliment in itself, in my opinion. In the end, the GT350's driving experience is a result of a wonderful combination of its engineering, design, and a true driver's connection to the car. Truly, one of the last of a dying breed. There's a character about the Shelby GT350 that I feel like is lacking in today's cars. A great example of that would be the new Dark Horse, right? On paper, that car is incredible and probably faster around a track than a GT350R. But there's no character in that car. It leaves so much to be desired. You drive that car and it does what it's supposed to, but it's just not giving you anything. There's no drama. There's no mystique about the car. It's just, well, to be frank, it's just a glorified GT. I can see you in the comments now. No, the Dark Horse is not just a GT. But very similarly, like when the Mach 1 came out, right? That was kind of referred to as a parts bin car. Kind of the perfect marriage between the GT350 components and the GT500 components that it had on it. And I consider the Dark Horse to just kind of be a more well-tuned version of that, right? Brakes are a bit more responsive, Magna Ride's a bit more upgraded, but again, the character and the personality defining characteristics of that car, they're just not really there, to be honest. The GT350 gives you a feeling that truly is second to none. The way this car revs, the way it feels. As someone who's owned a Mach 1 prior to this, I truly don't believe those two experiences are the same. The Mach 1, in my opinion, is one of the most perfect examples of turnkey and go. And what I mean by that is, if you want to just hop in that car and go for a drive, there's nothing you have to worry about. You don't have to check oil. You don't have to wait 20 minutes for the car to heat up, warm up, and be ready to go. And you know the Coyote is bulletproof and that it's gonna do everything that you need it to do. So you might be asking yourself, well, Jordan, you just described the perfect car. I'm confused. You've got a car that has GT350 parts, GT500 parts, and essentially everything that you would need to have a great track day car and a daily driver. And you're right. I actually loved my Mach 1. I really did. And I had a really strong relationship with that car. Went through a lot of ups and a lot of downs. The second week I owned that car, somebody backed into me and I had to pay for the repairs on my own dime because I had switched insurance and the claim was too new. So there were a lot of things that I really fell in love with that car. Then how did I end up here? There's just something about this car, the way it's designed, the way it looks, the appeal and the attraction to the car has just been there for me. It's like when some people saw the 2000 Cobra, right? That was their car. That was the epitome, right? That's what they always wanted. For me, it was the GT350R. When I saw that car, I had just never seen anything like that, especially not from Ford. And it had been a while since I had been drawn to anything like that. To be completely honest with you, I was a JDM guy, and I still have a heart and a place there, right? But man, that reveal of the S550 Mustang, but specifically the GT350, it pulled me in a way I think I never expected. The pull of the GT350 never left me. Even though I loved the Mach 1 and I had great experiences in it, I did autocross, I did Tail of the Dragon, all kinds of fun experiences in that Mach 1. It always lingered in the back of my mind, what would it be like to have a GT350? Truth be told, if you're an incredibly meticulous guy and you love to do absolutely everything to your vehicle, if you want to be a mechanic all the time in your car, the GT350 is probably going to be your absolute best friend. You'll love that car. The character that it gives you will hold you there and keep you forever. But if that does not describe you, if you simply want to get in the car and go as fast as you possibly can without having to worry about the reliability portion, a Mach 1, a Dark Horse, heck, even a new GT and an S650, all of those things are going to give you that experience. Ultimately, the S650 is just a more buttoned up version of the S550. There's a lot of really good improvements that came with that. But it doesn't come with that. I think what happened for me is I finally realized I don't care about the lap times. I'm not concerned with how quick I am at autocross. I wanted a car that emotionally brought me something that I had never experienced anywhere else. And let me tell you, the GT350 offers that in spades. So, is the GT350 one of the greatest vehicles ever made? Probably not, but I think that's okay. Somewhere between the doctors who have waited years to buy their 911 and the guy working odd jobs every day to finally buy the EcoBoost Mustang he's been dreaming of since a kid, sits the GT350. A car that will be remembered. Will it always be remembered for being the greatest car Ford has ever produced? I'd say hardly. Many will have bitter memories of being on their third engine and still having oil consumption issues. But for guys like me, I'll remember it for giving me one of the first experiences of a car truly feeling alive. I'll remember the bond that I've created with one of the most intoxicating engine sounds ever produced. The habits I formed checking oil at each fill-up. But I think most of all, I'll remember and cherish the memories that I've made along the way. And to me, that makes it one of the greatest machines ever made. Well, you guys are done. Sorry about that. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video today. The plan is to post on a pretty consistent schedule with some of these videos. This is not just going to be a Mustang channel. I know that may depress a few of you guys, but obviously the 350 will be on as much as humanly possible. I love this car to death, so it's not going anywhere by any means. There are some plans obviously in the works to get some other cars on here in particular. Some ones I think you'll be really excited about. I also have plans for the GT350. There's definitely some suspension upgrades I'd still like to do as well, so plenty to be in store for the future. So if you're excited and you want to be a member of the Leadfoot Society, please drop a comment, like, and subscribe to this video. Thanks, guys. See you later.